Good morning, Coach Tina here. It's time for day two of our From Procrastination to Desired Destination Masterclass. Who is excited? I know I am, and Margaret is watching. Good morning to you as well. And if you are watching live, go ahead and put #live. If you're catching this on the replay, so happy you're here. Go ahead and put #replay as well. Love it, love it, love it. Let me make sure we are in the right location and we will get this party started. And we are going to go straight into the group and pin this to the top. All right. I hope everybody is having a fantastic day so far, a fantastic week. We are on Thursday, the downhill side of the work week. And I don't know about you, but I'm pretty excited about this coming weekend, first weekend of the month of November, and the time change in the United States. So those of you that watch from out of the area or don't participate in the time change, things get mixed up a little bit in the States. We go an hour, we fall forward. So things will be different by an hour. And so be prepared for that. If your area doesn't change, it'll look like we're not showing up. And yet we are. So I'm going to go ahead and take us into our presentation for the day. And we're going to get into the material that I am so excited about. I think you're really going to like it. Remember, this 3-day masterclass is for women who are ready to take action and to accomplish their dreams. So that's you. If you are gung-ho about ending this year strong and not just allowing things to happen to you like the holidays, then you are in the right place. This is our thankful, grateful, blessed edition. And what that means is that we are focusing on emotions for this time period. And you're going to learn what that means a little bit later today. Yesterday, we talked about how to be grateful when life is not as good as you want it to be. Pulling in that emotion, the positive emotion, will make a noticeable difference in your life. But today we are going to focus on giving thanks for not having what you want yet. Okay, I've got that in parentheses because we can all get what we want. If it's something that we have imagined having, then there is only thing that's holding us back from getting it is really the stuff between our two ears that is limiting us and making us believe that we can't achieve it, because if we've already thought about it, it's done. All right, so we're going to give thanks for that. And then tomorrow, if you join for the last day, we'll be talking about having hope that good things will happen. All right, so let's keep going. I'm excited. The topic is around procrastination. And we're doing this because so many of us say that we procrastinate or we're our worst enemy. We're doing things wrong. And all of that delaying of what's important to us feels heavy. It's negative emotions. It's draining from our body. And a lot of times when we talk about being overwhelmed by stuff, that usually we procrastinate because we say we're too busy. We say we're overwhelmed. And when that happens, we're in our head and we'll hold our head sometimes. So those are clues about what's really going on in our system. And so when you're in your head, you're dead. And that means that you're not thinking the right way. Your body system doesn't have access to all of the resources. So what we want to do is think from our heart. And that is what is going to help us to achieve what we want. That's what's keeping us from our dreams, is that there's something in between us and the goal. And we're talking about that relationship with emotions this week because it needs to be considered as part of the whole package as to why you delay doing the things that are in your best interest to do. And so I am going to try to follow the chats here and see what we get. So apologize because the sound always comes on and I have not figured out why. But I see Sarah is here as well. Good morning, Sarah. So happy to have you. You guys are wonderful. I know Sarah's in North Dakota, a little bit colder than Oklahoma, and you probably have snow on the ground based on the way our weather system has been lately. So I've been wondering about the thoughts that you're having regarding procrastination and emotions. So go ahead and put in the comments if you've ever considered that your procrastination is actually an emotional response because you're either worried about the end goal and what that means to you, or you are having so much emotion around guilt, remorse, those heavy feelings of not achieving what you've been trying to do for a while, that it puts you in a place where you just don't feel like you can accomplish what you want to accomplish. So go ahead and put it in the comments. Like I said, the magic is working this morning, and it looks like Facebook is going to let me see your comments. So Margaret is saying she has a fear of the unknown, and that one of the reasons she procrastinates is that she doesn't know what's going to happen on the other side. And so when she gets in touch with that, I always do like a worst case scenario. What's the very worst thing that can happen if your fears occur? And a lot of times when we get that out of our system, when we say what it is, sometimes we can even laugh about it. We can be like, oh, I see. That isn't really going to happen, right? And so then we can be a little bit more brave on the other side of it. And Margaret is expanding a little bit more with definitely fear of failure, right? So a lot of us procrastinate because we're afraid of failure, and or you got it bingo there for Margaret. She said fear of success. So definitely those two are big ones to hold us back, because let's say you tried something and I think of when I was a young girl. So I remember I got this opportunity to buy greeting cards from a magazine, the back of a magazine. I remember I put my money together, I sent them my money, and I got like a carton of greeting cards in boxes. And then I was supposed to sell them for market value and make money back. Well, this was my first official sales job. I was probably 11, and I went door to door and I tried to sell them, and I didn't do well. And I got nervous and I thought I was bad at sales. And so I didn't do it anymore. And I really didn't think about it much until I got older. And then there was Girl Scouts, which, going door to door didn't feel right. And then I got even older, and there were like t-shirt sales in college and different things like that. And I didn't really want to ask people because I knew they were going to say no. And so my nervous system was remembering when I was a kid and felt that huge disappointment where I didn't make the money back. And so it translated into all these other experiences. And I didn't ever see that that was what was holding me back. And it probably still has a little bit of holdback even now, right? So yes, I see Kim is saying the same thing. Fear of failure is huge. And so we just want to be aware that we are having an emotional response. And today's lesson is so cool, you guys. You are going to love it, and it's going to address this for sure. So let's keep going. And I love that you guys put the comments in. So thank you for sharing what your thoughts are on procrastination and the emotions behind them. Because there's power in emotions, right? I mean, just this example of a family meal, right? Think of the gamut of emotions we go through. A lot of times in the United States, we have Thanksgiving. And so the Thanksgiving meal is often joked about because you have the crazy uncle and you have the siblings that get into their tense moments together. And then you have all the kids that they're growing, and you see them and you're so excited. And so there's this roller coaster of emotions that can happen. But what are our memories built on? We tend to remember the high emotional state times of our life. When things were just normal, not a lot of memories. But when you've had, like, when you got to see grandma after a year and you were just so appreciative, and then you went and you did fun things together, those are all really key emotions. And so the power of emotions, we cannot sell that short. That emotions are amazing. And so we're going to do a little exercise this morning. I think you guys are really going to like it. It is so eye-opening. And it is just going to take us a moment. And this is not in your workbook, But if you're in the VIP, which all of you have access to this month, it was a free gift that I gave, there is a place in there where you can jot your ideas down from this visualization exercise. So you can do that, or just a random piece of paper and a pen will help you as well. But go ahead, take that moment, close your eyes, and I want you to feel the emotion of hope. Okay, I want you to think of something that you want in your future. And I'm going to look at my notes a little bit here, so apologies. If your eyes are closed, you won't even notice. But what I want you to do is think of something you want to have happen in the future. And I want you to hope that it's going to happen. How does it feel when you're hoping? You're thinking about this thing that you want to happen, and I want you to feel that hope. Okay? So hopefully you're going to open your eyes and shake that out a little bit, and you've just had your hope experience. And now I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to have that same thing that you want to have happen in the future. But this time I want you to expect that it is going to happen. 100%, you are committed to it. Everything about you is going to make that happen. How does that feel? Feel it in your body. Feel how you stand when you perfectly know that what you are doing is 100% going to happen. And then open your eyes, shake those both off, and I want you to compare the hope to the expectation. How did those two things feel different? Go ahead and put in the comments if you noticed a shift in the way it felt to hope for something and the way it felt to believe that you were getting it no matter what. Okay, so Sarah said that was an awesome experience. It is, isn't it? When you have that contrast and you can recognize that that's just a shift in the emotion that you were putting forward. One is hope, a weak example, because when you have hope, what happens is it could happen and it couldn't happen. There's a shift. There's well, if this happens, then maybe. It feels different than when it's 100% you know that it can happen. And so a lot of times we live in the hope area versus the I can make it. And I love it. Sarah says she feels excitement in both, and that's good, right? Because it's something that you want. But Margaret says she feels like a shift is from grateful into relieved, right? Like when you expect it. Remember how we did the 4 levels of commitment? And the 4th one was you're all in, you're going to make it happen no matter what, you're resourceful. I know there are times in my life when I've had that attitude, everything, now there's still like things that happen that are delays, if you will, but the certainty behind the expectation that it's going to happen is so much, it has so much better energy that it takes me towards what needs to happen versus when I'm kind of wishy-washy or just trying or just dreaming, I don't get the same results. And so in our procrastination, when we're saying to ourselves, I have this thing and I've been putting it off and I really want to get it done, but all this stuff is happening, how can we make it certain? How can we pull an emotion that is going to remind us of the end goal and get us to where we want to go? This is really important and really key to moving beyond the procrastination that can happen with us. Oops, we shifted the wrong direction here. So we are going to do a study as part of our next couple days in the masterclass. And this is what's going to happen. You're going to take a piece of paper and you are going to write these categories down. So I'm going to leave this up for a little while, or you can take a screenshot of this so that you have them. But what I would like to see you do is think about these categories. Okay, so I'm gonna read them off and kind of give you a little bit of background, but obviously you can ask me at any point if you feel that you need more of a description on this. But uncomfortable. If something just makes you feel a little bit off, maybe you have the butterflies in your stomach, just a little bit of, I'm not sure what's going to happen here. That's an uncomfortable feeling. Versus the second category, which is just fear. You have concern, you have worry, you're scared, maybe you're completely terrified. Okay, so that's a category of emotion. The third one is hurt. Okay. So this is something was done to you, something, I mean, maybe you have a pain that's going on. Health can even go in this, right? Because health causes you to have certain emotions. When your health is poor, you have certain reactions. And then the fourth one is anger. We all know what anger looks like, but it can run from irritated to all the way up to enraged, right? So wherever your anger is going to see, I'm going to tell you what you're tracking in a moment, but these are the categories you're going to put them in. And then the fifth one is frustration. This is anytime you feel held back or hindered about going forward. 6 is disappointment. Okay. So you had an expectation and it didn't happen. And maybe it's sadness that you feel that makes you, there's some sadness related to this disappointment. You wanted something, you didn't get it. And it may not have 2 S's, by the way. Guilt, regret. Anytime you feel regret, remorse, a guilty feeling, that's a category. The next one is inadequacy. Anytime you feel like you're not enough. The 9th one is overloaded, overwhelmed, spiraling out of control, right? You might feel hopeless. You might feel depressed in this area, but just your circuits are like, I can't do it. And then we have lonely. So lonely, we've all experienced lonely, right? And what we want to do is we have the rest of today, and tomorrow morning we'll meet again. And then everybody, because you're in VIP, is invited to the weekend workshop where we're going to do a deep dive. And what I want you to do is any emotions that you experience before we meet for the weekend workshop, I would like you to categorize them into one of these categories. Now, the weekend workshop, you get a chance to really dig into, I'm having this experience with procrastination and I'm not really sure what's up. And then what I want you to do is to think about what category of emotion you want to put your event into. And what it looks like is, let's say that there's something that happens later today and you feel rejected. Okay. Now, rejected is not a category on here. And to Sarah, rejected might be disappointment. But to Margaret, rejected might be hurt. To another person, like maybe someone who went out for a job interview and they didn't get the job interview and now they're not going to have enough money to pay their bills, that might be fear. So there's not a right or a wrong in this. It's just how you process the experience and where you place it in your emotional categories. And so as you identify an emotion, it'll be best if it's the one that's keeping you from doing something that you know you need to do. Then go ahead and in this day 2 post, go ahead and tell me the category that you experienced your event in. And that will basically, you'll get to have that category. And so my hope is when we go into the weekend workshop, you will be able, like, somebody will cover the area of hurt with, and somebody will cover frustration, and somebody will cover lonely. And so we'll be able to hit all of the different categories. And I'm going to explain the next step of what we do to take them from these categories and shift them so that we have a better experience and can hopefully get the motivation, the momentum going on the other side so that we can achieve the goals that we're setting out to do. Because each of these categories has a specific signal. Like when we experience these things, there is a reason behind why. And there is a actual little trick we can do when we feel uncomfortable. Because what did I say about emotions on day 1? I said that emotions are moving us into action. So when we have an emotion, it's actually a signal. And the signal says, when you feel fear, you should run or you should stand still and not do anything, right? We're very familiar with that concept of fear. But do you know what your body is telling you when you're overloaded? Instead of just shutting down, there actually is a process you can go through that you can use that emotion and take it and have a better outcome on the other side. So who's excited about this? Go ahead and put in the comments if this makes sense to you. And if you're willing to track some of your experiences over the next few days and comment back in this post what category you want to explore when we do our deep dive. So Margaret is, and I think you're going to have a really good experience. Kim's saying it makes sense. I love it. All right, you guys. So again, the weekend workshop is when we're going to do this deep dive. It's on the 4th. So this coming Saturday, I've got the different times there. It's 10 a.m. Central for me. The time change will not occur until Saturday night, so you don't need to worry about it. These times will work. But if you're struggling with how to put your time into when we do our events, you can go to coachtina.live/time. And basically at the top of it, it says what time it is in Tina time. And then there's a little tiny link, and I can't make it any bigger. I don't know why, but it's little tiny. And when you click it, it gives you one of those charts where you can pick your time zone, and it will align them and tell you what time the event will be in your place. Okay. Now, before the weekend event, don't forget, and I'll send you some reminder emails, but post your emotion categories in the comments so that I know what we can focus on at the weekend workshop. It's not a showstopper if you don't. I'll just ask you at the weekend workshop. But if you want me to have a little bit of back time to work on that and to kind of set it up and have slides and so on, then help me out and put your category in this comment. Or if you can't find the post, if something like that happens, go ahead and put it into just a DM to me and let me know. Yes, Margaret says it's hard to tell what she's going to feel ahead of time. Exactly. And so that's why you're tracking it. And then hopefully you'll find this again. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, you guys. And then just one last thing I wanted to say about VIP or about Friday. So Friday, we're going to talk about the hope that good things will happen, which is when we're going to give you more information about how to do that signal and make it work. And don't forget, in the comments today, what was your biggest insight? What got you thinking more about emotions and procrastination? And if you have the workbook, which again, all VIP gets the workbook, the day 2 pages will be very beneficial for you. And don't forget, VIP access, anybody can have it. Just hashtag VIP, and I will send you the link where you can download the workbook. You can have access to the survey. And the survey just gives me a little bit of background about what's going on in your experience. Tomorrow, we're going to do an amazing visualization exercise as well as a little bit of information on the signals. And then we will, VIP gets access to the weekend workshop. So these are all fun things, all things that make this class masterful for you, because when we master our emotions, we are going to be able to take care of the things that are holding us back from getting what we want most. So I'm super excited, you guys. Thank you for the comments and for letting me know that you were here. So don't forget to do your insights into the class. Margaret has one here. I'm going to go ahead and show us, and I'm going to go ahead and remove the slides. So Margaret says, hope to expectation, hoping versus imagining is actually real. I love it, love it, love it. Great insights. And you guys, I hope you have a really great day. I hope you take this information with you into the day. And as you start to have an experience, just go to your list of categories and think, where does this best fit? And remember, there is no wrong or right way to do this. All you have to do is pick where it fits best for you. And let's see what happens, okay? And I love it. Margaret said that she loves us, and I love you guys too. So have a blessed day, and we'll see you tomorrow.